Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Ignition Time. I'll give you the latest news pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money, and some pretty unbelievable things that are emerging from the Republican Party. Welcome to our channel, everyone. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time, and this right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. In some brand new reporting from Bloomberg Wall Street Week, the former US Treasury Secretary under former President Barack Obama, Lawrence Summers, who, by the way, is a Wall Street Week contributor, said that President Biden's budget is built on outdated economic forecasts. Yes, you heard that right. Outdated economic forecasts, and his proposals could risk overheating the US economy. Yes, you heard that right. His proposals could risk overheating the US economy. In fact, Summers said this: just because you care doesn't mean you also don't have to count. Now, while he's largely supportive of President Biden's economic agenda, he did say just because you care doesn't mean you also don't have to count. In fact, he pointed out what he calls the three-part Washington, D.C. cycle. He said the first step is to deny. The second step is to then blame specific factors, usually blaming the other party, and then finally say, hey, it's not a problem because it's all going to be okay. There are going to be more jobs and so on and so forth. Very interesting insight into Washington, D.C. politics. Politics, folks, is ultimately about timing, opportunity. It's about tribalism, us against them, and perception. He also said, Larry Summers also said, this worries me because we have to manage the macroeconomics right. In fact, let's take a look at Larry Summers while he was interviewed by David Weston on Bloomberg Wall Street Week, talking about the risks of overheating the US economy, because in his opinion, President Biden's budget is built on outdated economic forecasts. He said, we have to look at the total amount of spending as a country. We could at some point have a collision between demand and supply. Let's take a look at what Larry Summers is saying. And I want my viewers and subscribers to let me know in the comment section below whether you agree or disagree with these comments. Larry Summers has been the most vocal critic of President Biden's economic agenda from the Democrat side, and he definitely has caused a few headaches for the Biden administration. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's roll the tape and hear from Larry Summers, the former US Treasury Secretary and a Wall Street contributor. Let's roll the tape and hear from Larry Summers.
This is Wall Street Week. I'm David Weston, and we're going to wrap up the week as we always do with our special contributor, Larry Summers of Harvard. So, Larry, great to see you again. Let's start with the big event on Friday, which was the president's announcement of his budget. $6 trillion, $1.3 trillion in deficit in each of the next 10 years, it looks like. What's your reaction to that budget?
Look, he's going to keep our country together by building back better. He's going to fix a whole set of lagging public investments in everything from making the airports work so it doesn't take half again as long to fly from Boston to Washington as it used to making the IRS be able to collect taxes, to having modern investments in science and technology. That's all right, and that's crucial. So is doing much more for children. So is doing much more for people who've been left behind. I'm all with that, and I think it's hugely important. But just because you care doesn't mean you don't also have to count. And I think we are, as a country, going to have to look at the total amount of spending we're calling forward and the total amount of taxing we're calling forward. And I am worried in both the short and the medium term about overheating. It might be that the forces of what I used to call secular stagnation, basically people not wanting to spend, are going to be so strong that we need these kinds of massive budget deficits and extraordinarily low interest rates to propel the economy forward, and this will work out fine. That could be the case. But I think the greater chance is that we're going to have some kind of collision between demand and supply. David, if you look at the administration's economic forecast, they've done what all administrations do, and it's entirely legitimate. They, several months ago, froze a set of budget assumptions to reflect in an entirely honest and accurate way what the consensus was then. But gosh, the consensus sure has changed. I don't think the idea of a 1.2% 10-year rate for this year looks particularly good right now. We've already had just about 2% inflation just in the months we've had of this year. So I think the year inflation figure is going to come in pretty high. And I think that the magnitude of those surprises just speaks to the fact that we're going to have to make some adjustments that go beyond what I think is the Washington three-part cycle on inflation. First, you deny that it's a problem. Then you say that it's just due to specific factors and specific transitory factors. And then you say, well, it's not really that big a problem after all because wages are going to go up along with prices and it's all going to sort of be okay. And I guess I see us moving through that cycle a bit, and that worries me. And it worries me because I think it's so important to do the fundamental things that the president is trying to do, but you do have to manage the macroeconomics right as well.
And it's very clear that President Biden has a completely different economic plan compared to Larry Summers. Here's the headline of an article on your screen from the Washington Post. Do deficits matter anymore? Biden's first budget signals they don't. The president's budget predicts a $1.8 trillion deficit for 2022 and deficits of $1.3 trillion in the coming years to fund big investments in education, infrastructure, and the social security net. In fact, let's take a look at this image, which is based on data from the White House Office of Management and Budget, and this is courtesy of the Washington Post. President Biden projects that the deficit would fall as a percent of the economy, but remain high. So as you can see on your screen, the projected US budget deficit as a share of the GDP under the Biden administration is projected to fall in the coming years going into 2031. A very interesting and a very different economic outlook from the Biden administration. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But fundamentally, President Biden wants significantly more government spending. He wants tax hikes on the rich and businesses, and this would result in a decade of high deficits. But because of low interest rates, because of the recovery from the pandemic, and because of the fact that the entire economy is now reopening, this does seem like a once-in-a-generation opportunity to invest in the future of our country, not just in our infrastructure, but also in our people, and also in helping those amongst us who are the most vulnerable. Having said that, the Republicans are busy with different things, and as you probably know by now, last week, the Republicans blocked the January 6th commission. Let's take a look at Gladys Sicknick, who's the mother of the fallen police officer, Officer Sicknick, and she talked about the Republicans blocking the January 6th commission. She said, I quote, "If they had a child that was killed on a day like this, they would think very differently. Or if they were hurt. But apparently, they just think, well, we're safe because of the men in blue." Let's roll the tape and hear from Gladys Sicknick, the mother of the fallen officer Sicknick, on Republicans blocking the January 6th commission. Let's roll the tape.
Unbelievable that they think like that. You know, it's just if they had a child that was hurt or was killed on a day like that, they would think very differently. Or if they were hurt, I mean, they could have very well, somebody could have been killed, one of the congressmen, one of the senators, but apparently they just think, well, you know, we're safe because of the men in blue.
And speaking of blocking, it's very clear that the Republicans want to block every single aspect of the Democrats' agenda. In fact, the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell pretty much said so. Here's a video from the Democrats highlighting what the Republican leader wants to block. He said 100% of the Republicans' focus is on stopping the Biden administration. You have to see this to believe it. Let's roll the tape and watch.
100% of my focus is on stopping this new administration. 100% of my focus, stopping this new administration.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I want you to know we work very hard on this channel to bring you the latest news. I want to wish all our viewers and subscribers a happy, healthy and safe Memorial Day holiday. I hope you have a wonderful time, whether it's indoors, whether it's outdoors. I hope the weather is beautiful for you wherever you're at in the country. Enjoy your Memorial Day holiday weekend. I appreciate you. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I want you to know that I work very hard on this channel, and so does my entire team. We appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, enable notifications, because that's how you can support our channel. Once again, enjoy your Memorial Day holiday. Thank you so much for being a part of our growing community. We will always work hard for you. I will always be there for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.